In the last episode of Narrated JRPG Xenogears, Bart and Faye fell into a sand cavern due to a fight based on a misunderstanding. After exploring for a bit, they stumbled upon an old man in a cave named Old Man Baal. After talking about their theories of evolution, amongst other things, we run some errands for him so that we can leave. We return. Old Man Baal looks at our gears. He casually mentions that Faye's gear is the Slayer of God, and then sends us on our way. We have a rather long battle with a thick boy named Calamity. At the end of the fight, Faye busts out some never-before-seen ass-kicking moves and destroys Calamity. We leave the cave and meet back up at Bart's sand cruiser, the Yggdrasil. We find Faye and Citan standing in front of Weltal. The camera is facing Veltal's back. They appear to be in a gear hangar, a giant metal warehouse able to hold many gears. Maison, one of Bart's servants, walks into view. Camera pans up to reveal Bart walking to meet everyone.
Faye, I was worried about you.
Doc.
Maison, one of Bart's servants, walks into view.
Welcome to the sand cruiser Yggdrasil. We apologize for that earlier incident.
Camera pans up to reveal Bart walking to meet everyone.
I'm sure everyone has already had the courtesy to introduce themselves, but allow me to introduce the Sand Pirates leader, Master Bartholomew. By the way, may I ask, young master, did you apologize to Master Faye?
What? Yeah. I told him I was wrong, right?
Well then, please, let me know if you need anything.
That's the situation. So now forgive me, will ya?
Young master, stay out of mischief.
Bart and his companions leave, with Sigurd dragging Bart away by his ears.
Ouch, ouch, ouch! Don't pull on my ears!
Let us go and wait in our cabin until we arrive. It is well made and comfortable.
Faye looks down.
What is wrong? You look down.
No. Well...
Something happened?
No, nothing.
We enter the overview of the gear hangar, and it's truly massive. Our character models are only like 6 pixels. We basically are ants in comparison. With a massively tall ceiling, everything is made out of some sort of gray metal, very high-tech looking compared to what we've seen so far. We run upwards to what appears to be a store on the right side of the hangar. We enter the gear tune-up screen. Tune-ups are different than items we equip on our gears. Think of tune-ups like the engines and transmissions of a car, while items are more like windshield wiper blades and tires. Under fuel, we upgrade our GG 1200 to our 29-1500. All this means is we'll have 1500 fuel instead of 1200 fuel. Under frame, we go from the WELT 2500 to the WELT 3000, basically moving from 2500 HP to 3000 HP. Under armor, we go from MS6 to MS9, from armor value of 60 to 90. This value is less self-explanatory on the overall effects in battle, but we know it helps. Finally, we restore our HP and fuel for 110 gold. We exit the shop and return to the gear hangar. We head north to a door against the northeast wall. We enter some sort of hallway made for humans. Doors on both sides. We head up north to the hallway up to a door on the north wall. We find ourselves in a large room. Marble flooring and a potted tree to our right. We find a save point. We save. Things to note. We have 472 gold. We have 4 hours and 41 minutes of playtime. And the chapter's name is Pirate's Lair. After saving, we find our way to Old Maison in the same room. The northern half is set up as a nice drinking area with tall tables and a fully stocked bar. Maison is behind the bar.
I hope you're not too taken aback. Lately, there are far too many highly energetic lads running around the young master. So, yours truly, who is in charge of education, demanded to have this room created. But because of that, I ended up having to take this side job. How may I be of service? I hope I can be of such service again.
We leave Mason and look around. To the left is a really nice dining hall. The whole room is noticeably nicer than the rest of what we've seen so far. The floor is marble, the walls green and ornate. There is a staircase in the middle that goes to a lower floor. We leave. We take the door to our right, which turns out to be an elevator. We go up. We exit and head to the bridge of the Yggdrasil. We approach Bart. We walk up to Sigurd. We are on the world map. The camera is centered on the Yggdrasil. We are not in control. It travels for a while, across a vast desert, and passes some mountains. We approach some giant, rusted rubble, hard to make out what it is, in a small tunnel under a sand mound. This is Bart's hideout. Screen fades to black. The camera rotates inside a large metal complex. Large buildings on both sides. It's all inside a massive cave, with a rock ceiling. The Yggdrasil is lifted on a platform inside the middle of the complex. A bridge on a giant upside-down U moves into position from behind the sand cruiser. Stopping at the entrance is a ship. Then the bridge extends to connect the ship to the hideout. The camera floats above the entrance of the sand cruiser, then pans down towards the entrance of the sand cruiser. The screen fades to black. The camera moves to the top of the Yggdrasil exit hatch. Soldiers and kids are there to greet the party. The hatch opens, and Bart, Faye, Sight, and Mason step out.
Bart,
Welcome back, Bart.
Good to see you back.
Bart, what did you bring us?
Well, I've got a new model gear, and 2 people that we helped out.
Ugh, a gear? How boring. Don't you have anything more interesting?
I thought you'd say that. Look! This is amber I found in a stalactite cavern under the desert. It's rare to find one with a bug in it.
Wow, thanks, Bart.
We got some amber.
What's that?
Let's go. We gotta show it off to everyone.
Kids run off. Bart goes back into the ship.
Please, walk this way.
Faye, Sight, and Mason walk off the ship onto an elevator and go up. We arrive in an open room. Everything is made of metal, with a tunnel carved out of rock.
This is the residential area. Walk this way.
We follow Mason into one of the various doors.
This is the dining hall. I'm so sorry it's so gash.
The trio walks up a ramp to a mess hall type area. Tables line the octagon room, with 2 tables in the middle in half-oval shape. Mason walks to the middle table.
Please, take a seat.
Sight and Faye sits down in the middle between the 2 tables, facing Mason. Camera moves behind Faye and Sight.
Perhaps you would like some of my famous tea, Master Faye, good doctor.
Mason pours Faye and Sighton a cup of tea, but Sighton is the only one to have a sip.
Young visitors are rare indeed. The young master must be very happy. If things were normal, we wouldn't be living under the desert, but rather back in the royal palace.
Royal Palace? You mean that young one is connected to the old Fatima dynasty?
Pardon?
Mason walks to the other side.
No, I'm just a senile old fool who talks too much. Pay no attention to what I just said.
That one-eyed youth does have a certain bearing.
Mason walks back over.
Oh, well spoken, sir. Awfully good of you to notice.
Mason turns around.
If I may, I would like to tell you. The young gent is the last forgotten remnant of the once proud Fatima dynasty, that is, before it was destroyed by Shakan's minions.
Mason turns back.
Prince Bartholomew Fatima.
Bartholomew? Edbert IV's successor? I'm sure they announced Bartholomew died of an illness 12 years ago.
Officially, yes. However, in reality, we rescued the young prince from Shakan's evil grasp.
Then why must the prince, the rightful heir, resort to piracy?
Mason turns around and walks to a large model of the Yggdrasil.
Since fleeing here, we have had only one wish. That the young master would grow up to be a great man.
Not to reclaim the throne.
That is correct. Of course, to say we have absolutely no desire to restore his rule would be a lie. We have plans for that as well.
And part of those plans would involve piracy?
Mason walks back to the duo.
Well, yes, but there is a reason for that.
The screen fades to the image of a giant excavation, at least 400 feet deep. Large machines and cranes layer the landscape.
Both Av and Keslev are devoted to excavating the ruins. Each country's strength is increasing daily. Even if we could get the help of all of our comrades to start a revolution, the combined strength of all of us would still not be enough. We would certainly be suppressed by Shakan's guards in no time at all.
The image changes to the Yggdrasil facing the camera. It appears to be in Bart's lair.
We needed power. We tried excavating the ruins using the Yggdrasil, but it didn't work as well as we'd expected.
Now we have an image of Yggdrasil in the middle of a flat desert. The front half is open. Stairs or ramps are built in the opening entrance. Bart's gear is in the foreground, looking out.
Excavating requires large amounts of time, labor, and capital. The best we could do with our sand cruiser is find small items in the sand.
And the piracy?
Mason looks at them.
Regardless of who gains the ruins technology, one thing is certain. Both Keslev and Av will simply use that power to oppress the other. I agreed with the young master's idea of creating a new power to balance things out a little.
I see. It is far more effective to plunder from the shadows than to excavate the technology oneself.
Of course, pillaging is an unpardonable act. However, for Av, For Ignace to continue like this, I'm sorry if it sounds rather self-righteous.
Mason looks at them.
That is something which outsiders like ourselves cannot comment upon. From what you have told me, I feel the result of what you are doing will be good. Seeing your children here tells me that.
I am much relieved by your words.
Mason moves back to the teapot.
Another cup of tea?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Mason refills Seiton's cup.
You mentioned you had plans. Why have you not put them into action?
With Miss Margie imprisoned, we dare not do anything.
She would not happen to be Nissan's.
You are well informed, my dear doctor. She is the great Mother Marguerite of Nissan, and the young master's cousin as well.
Why would Shakan take her captive?
Mason turns around.
For the Fatima Jasper.
The Jasper, said to reveal the whereabouts of a great treasure.
My good doctor, you do know an awful lot. I am most impressed.
Mason goes to refill Faye's cup, but stops.
You do not like my tea, Master Faye?
No, it's not that.
Well, we have no idea what the great treasure actually is. But it is said to be strong enough to save our kingdom, even if it is ever in plight.
And Marguerite has the Jasper that tells the location.
Only half of it, to be precise. The young master and Miss Marguerite each have half. Only by combining the two halves will anyone know where the treasure is.
What exactly is the Fatima Jasper? When you say a half of the Jasper, I imagine some kind of necklace.
Only the heirs to Av and Nissan know what it really looks like.
I see. So that is why they have her locked up. My guess is that when they do find out, her chances of living are not... I apologize. I was only supposing the worst case. So please, try not to take it to heart.
No, let us face the facts.
Just what is the great treasure? I wonder.
Well, I haven't the foggiest.
The gear! He means the gear! That has to be it!
The camera moves to Bart at the entrance of the mess hall. He walks up to the trio.
Young master, are the gears all right?
Bart looks over to Mason.
Yeah, even though they were sealed, sand's gotten in the joints. It's a pain in the neck to fix, so I'm having the crew take care of it now. My job is just to pilot them anyway. Besides, I'm bad with machines, so it'd just get in the way.
Bart looks at Faye and Seiton.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Whether the great treasure could be a gear?
Oh yeah. You know, something like this is drawn in one of the Av picture scrolls.
Picture scrolls?
Bart turns around.
Well, if you're interested, then let's go to the planning room. I'll show you what I mean, since you're my special guests.
That sounds interesting.
Bart and Seiton walk away. Faye gets up and walks out.
We leave the mess hall. We notice a door to our left with a note on it, and we approach.
Faye walks up to a door to the right with a poster that reads, "My room, enter or die. Bart." We enter. Inside is a nice bed and an L-shaped table. We find a chest with an iron whip inside. I wonder why he didn't bring that with him. We head out into the projector room, with 6 bald men working on different computers, and Sigurd overseeing. Seitan and Bart are inside.
This place is incredible. They probably do not even have equipment like this in the capital.
Surprised? All this technology is thanks to Sig.
The trio head down to the lower floor with black squares in a sort of grid formation.
Hey, Faye, don't stand on the screen. We won't be able to see. All right, men. Display my special file on the main screen.
Faye moves out of the way. A giant futuristic projector comes down from the ceiling. It projects a giant red gear kneeling down in front of a rock ledge. It is a primitive drawing. A person glowing in red.
What is this?
Facing the gear.
A picture scroll nearly 500 years old. This is King Fatima I. Body cloaked in flames, making a blood oath with a giant. They say he used the strength of the giant to found Av.
It's amazing that such an ancient scroll exists, and in such good condition. I thought the Church of the Ethos controlled all things such as these.
Normally, yes. But this was one of my father's prized possessions. Next! After founding the country, Fatima forced the giant into slumber.
The image changes to the red gear sitting in an upside-down teardrop throne, white and ornate. Silhouettes of people on both sides worshipping it. A figure in red in the middle faces the gear, with arms open wide in the air.
To protect his kingdom's people if needed in the future. We don't know where it's hidden. Although, in another record, the giant is referred to as the Great Fatima Treasure.
What about the Jasper?
Hey, you sure know a lot. Maybe you're one of Shakan's spies.
Of course not. It is only an intellectual interest.
Just kidding. It appears that Jasper is the key to finding our treasure.
A key? Could that be what Shakan is looking for?
Not just him. Gabrua is also looking for it.
Really? Then we must rescue Marguerite as soon as possible.
You're telling me?
Bart walks on top of the projection, then walks away.
Since we helped you, I was wondering if I could in turn ask you a favor?
Would that be for us to help you rescue her?
Bright boy! That's exactly it! I heard from Sigurd. It seems both Av and Kislev are after you. So we can help you and you can help us. How about it? It's not too much to ask.
Well, if it pays for my room and board, then I will help in any way I can. What do you think, Faye? You have not said anything for a while.
Yeah, you were great back there in that stalactite cave. Your strength alone is greater than 10 or 20 of Shakan's guards.
Faye looks away.
I'd love to have your power on my side.
Why does everyone want to make me fight?
Huh? What's wrong with you all of a sudden?
Faye?
Faye walks up to the ramp.
I just don't feel like it. Love to have my power? I don't have any. What's wrong with you, Doc? Everyone! You're driving me to the brink. Then there's that gear. Graf and my father. I don't have the time to help you out with your problems when I've got enough of my own.
Faye walks out of the room.
What's with him? Is he always that short-tempered?
No, that is not it. I am sorry. Things have happened so fast that he has not had time to deal with it yet. Try to understand.
Bart looks back at the door and doesn't reply. Camera zooms in on the door. 2 kids walk out of the mess hall.
We're gonna help service gears now.
Yeah!
Let's go!
They take the elevator down.
We enter a bedroom/living quarters. There are bunk beds all around, with a table in the middle for public use. People are resting and chatting. Some of the bunks have pictures on the walls and ceilings.
We go to save. We proceed to rest, leave the living quarters, and walk out through the stone tunnel. We take the next hour to grind our character, earning levels and money along the way. Up to this point, we haven't had a chance to grind battles yet. What that means is that we fight near to death. We head back into Bart's lair to rest, heal up, and restore our gear, then head back out. I'll save you from having to listen to that narration. We head back inside. We head back onto the elevator, but decide not to use it. Instead, we head into Bart's room. Faye notices a picture of a little boy and girl on Bart's dresser. As Faye begins to leave, he knows that Bart's about to come in. Faye proceeds to hide. It needs to be noted, the room is a cube, no closets, the layout is open, and honestly there is nowhere to hide. Faye decides to go between the foot of his bed and dresser. Kneel down, facing the wall. Looks very goofy. Bart pretends not to see Faye.
Boy, what's up with that Faye guy? I try and become his friend and he suddenly explodes in anger. Well, looks like he's got a lot on his mind. I don't want to force him, but he would be fun to fight. Maybe I'll ask again. If I lie in wait under the elevator...
Bart leaves the room. Bart leaves the room. We walk around to the elevator and go down. Railing pops from where we entered and descends. The railing drops down from both sides. We exit and head towards the exit hatch of the Yggdrasil. Bart walks out.
Can I have a second?
Sure.
I heard your story so far from Doc Satan. Why didn't you tell me? It sounds pretty rough.
Bart turns around and walks up a few stairs to the upper deck.
Listen, I'm sorry for being a jerk before. Forgive me, will ya?
Bart hops from the upper deck onto the exit's hatch.
Okay, great. Anyway, sorry to bring it up again, but...
No.
Faye turns around and takes a few steps away.
What?
I don't like conflict the way you do, Bart. I only got into that gear because I had to. I'd rather not ride them. If you want that gear so much, then you can have it. I don't want it.
You think I like fighting? Is that it?
Don't you? Sure looks that way. It looks like the only thing you do enjoy is fighting.
I can't let that slide. Who would like fighting? Take it back. Like it or not, I fight because I have to. I got my reasons. But you wouldn't understand.
Well, I don't have a reason to fight. I don't want to fight. I just want to live in peace and quiet. But you people keep on hounding me to get into a gear. Why don't you just leave me alone?
Bart walks up to Faye.
It's because I see your skill and think...
Well, I hate it. Whenever I get in a gear, people get hurt. If I fight, people die. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want anyone to die. I hate it. Can't you see that?
Yeah, I know the feeling of just wanting to run away from reality. But do you think the kids left behind in your village would understand? Satan told me what happened in Lahan. Would it have been better if you had done nothing? Sure, that happened because you were in that gear. But even if you hadn't, people would have died, right? You weren't the reason. War, no. The people who started the war are the reason. And unless you get rid of the reason, nothing will change. I fight to get rid of the reason. Right now, there's no other way, so I have to fight. But that doesn't mean I enjoy it.
Bart goes to walk away, but stops.
I understand why you would feel guilty about the kids in your village. And I know you don't want to harm others. But if you want to make it up to those children, don't you have to fight? You do have a reason to fight. A reason you must fight. But as long as you ignore it and continue to run away, those kids will never forgive you. Just remember that. And another thing. I'm not saying that helping me is running away. You don't have to help. This is my own problem. I don't want to get you involved against your will. But if I had your skill, I could bring all of this to an end. And make it up to those kids. At least that's what I think.
Bart walks away again.
Anyway, sorry to hold you up. The mechanic wanted to talk to you about your gear. You probably don't care now, but at least listen to what he has to say.
Faye turns around, watching Bart walk away. The screen transitions, and Faye is running on a suspended catwalk and gets on an elevator platform, then descends down. We arrive to a gear hangar and see Veltal. We hop on some platforms and talk with the gear's mechanic.
Looks like someone really knows how to tune up your gear. Attack, defense, ether amplification, an exceptionally balanced machine. But we don't seem to be able to dismantle some of the pods to see what they do. I guess you can call them black boxes. There are quite a number of them on this machine. Do you have any idea what they actually do?
No.
Faye walks up to Veltal, looking at it at chest height. The camera pans down so you can see its lifeless yellow eyes staring back at Faye. Sight and Sigurd approaches.
Sigurd, Doc, what's up?
We would like to have a word with you.
Oh, okay.
Sigurd, Sight, and Faye travel up an elevator. They arrive on a catwalk that goes over the front nose of the ship.
Look, over there.
The three look over to see Bart on the nose of the ship, looking out.
Hey, Dad. Can you hear me? Ever since I first looked into Faye's eyes, I knew. He's the same as me. He'd understand me. Or so I thought. Did I just imagine it? I'm so unsure of myself. If I succeed you, Dad, if I put on the crown as I am now, I'm not sure I can carry out your will. Or even rescue Margie. I told him he was only running away, but really I'm the one who wants to run away. You don't have to help. This is my own problem.
The young
I don't want to
master
get
asked
you
me to
involved against your
apologize to
will.
you. Quite strange, isn't it? He knows it's best to apologize in person. But the young master isn't all that good at this sort of thing. He may not look it, but he is really quite lonely. He's always searching for a friend. We, his minders, cannot become his friends. Even if we wanted to, he just wouldn't see us that way. He knows that. Why, you ask? It's because of the burden he bears. It must be difficult for one so young to carry so heavy a responsibility. But he does try to do his best, you know. That is why we stick by him. It has nothing to do with him being the prince. Faye, I sense you too are carrying a heavy burden. This might be a selfish request, but would it be possible for you to help the young master? I am not asking you to burden yourself with his problems or responsibilities. But could you, with whatever it is only you two each know, help each other, please?
I'm sorry. I need time to think.
Of course, take your time. It is completely up to you. Whatever you decide, we will be leaving early tomorrow morning. After you finish preparing for tomorrow, you should probably get some rest. You can use the bedroom in the residential area above.
I wish to speak to Sigurd some more. So, you go on ahead and get some rest.
Faye walks up to the catwalk's railing and looks over at Bart. Faye is now in the living area talking to the person in charge.
All right.
Faye walks up to the lower bunk bed.
I'm so very tired.
Screen fades to black. We are looking through a camera now, perched high above inside Bart's lair. The camera has a heavy blue tint to it. The camera looks around.
Briar speaks, a meathead-looking guy with blue hair and a crew cut.
Confirmed. It's their base, all right.
Well, that rock was easy to break through. I thought it'd be a little harder.
Followed up by Helmholz, a smart-looking guy with glasses and purple hair tied into a ponytail.
These lambs sure live in a nice place.
Strosky speaks, a man with a stoic face and long green hair.
Look at that. They built this place far better than the facilities at Breidablik. It's probably a hidden fort built when their old king was still around.
Rink said, a tan ginger with a full beard.
The camera falls down to the ground's floor. Must be a gear.
Who cares? Let's just get this over and done with.
The camera looks left.
So, where are the gears?
The camera looks left.
Over here?
To the right. There's the hangar.
The camera looks left. We see some generic-looking red gears the pirates use.
Find them!
These are Deerwoods. They're standard pirate gears.
The gear backs up and faces towards the entrance of the people's quarters.
Ha! Ignore those. We can take them out fast.
Why not take a few? Even if we only get those, it was worth sneaking in.
Shh. All right. Spirial is now in place at the back. Get ready to take out anything that gets in our way.
Prep complete.
Okay, over here.
Any time is fine. Go!
The gear propels forward towards the wall of the living quarters. Screen goes white, then slowly fades to black. Faye wakes up to chaos. Everyone is scrambling, trying to figure out what happened.
We hear over the intercom.
Attention! Gears have entered the Yggdrasil dock. 5 Devil Special Forces gears or 1 single unidentified large gear. All pilots report to the gear hangar.
Everyone in the living quarters are clearly freaking out. People running around or running back and forth. We leave the living quarters for the gear hangar.
We run out and head down onto the main elevator, red lights flashing everywhere.
All non-combatants, go to the Yggdrasil immediately.
Children run inside the Yggdrasil. Faye calmly walks past the entrance hatch and towards the outside bridge of the sand cruiser.
Faye!
The camera pans to Citan, standing on the catwalk across from the exterior bridge of the Yggdrasil.
Faye, quick! Get to Eltal, now!
Faye turns away from Citan.
Faye! Bart and the others are already fighting. Aren't you going to do anything? Do you still think it has nothing to do with you?
Citan looks at Faye for a few more seconds, then calmly walks to the end of the catwalk, gets on the elevator, and heads down.
What am I?
Between each set of words, the camera pans slowly away from the front of Faye and around towards the side.
That old man. He called me a slayer of God.
The camera slowly zooms into Faye.
I don't want that kind of power.
Faye looks at his hands.
My strength. My home. Their home.
Maison and Citan are standing in front of a green and white gear.
Maison, does this gear work?
Pardon? Yes, it more or less works, but...
All right.
Citan runs to get into the gear.
Out of the question. It is still under maintenance. The handling setup is nowhere near.
It's all right, Maison.
Camera reveals Sigurd.
Master Sigurd, but for a gent like the good doctor.
It's fine, he'll be okay. It may not even be enough for him.
Master Sigurd?
Maison and Sigurd watch as Citan's gear is lowered down to the ground via an elevator. His gear has a shield-looking structure on its back. The head is Shogun armor is inspired, with fins on the side and a decorative flat horn on each end of the face that extends out above the head.
Well, it has been 5 years since I last fought. I hope I can still remember.
The screen shatters when we enter battle. We are in a scripted dialogue before the battle. We see Citan's gear in a martial arts stance, with his left hand in a fist next to his side, and his right arm extended towards his opponent with his palm open, facing inwards.
Oh, a wild stallion, eh? Well, then it's high time someone broke you in.
Brower stands in front of us. His gear is light blue, bulky, with a skull-esque face, and having shields on each arm as weapons. The shields are pointed at the bottom, and has the ability to stab into a gear.
Reinforcements?
Citan runs up to Brower and does a scripted attack. Appears to be a heavy attack. A low spinning leg sweep, followed up by an open palm uppercut.
Hey, that hurts!
The camera repositions behind Citan's gear, as he is facing Brower's gear.
Compared to the pain my friends are going through, yours is nothing. I cannot allow people like you to persist in tormenting those who cannot fight back. I will take you on in their stead. Come on!
What are you talking about?
What is about to occur is a multi-fight gauntlet. All that means is multiple fights without the ability to heal up. To save on time, I will give a summary of each fight before the boss fight. Brower's gear is called Aegis Knights. He does an attack that weakens AR, armor. It's a quick fight. He does 48 damage to Citan's gear, leaving him at 2452 before Citan does enough damage to make him run away. At the end, Citan gains 1500 experience, learns the death blow Rinky. We earn an extra AR +2, which is armor for gears, and 300 gold. Next scene, we see Sight and Bart are surrounded by two generic-looking gears on each side of them. The gears look very similar to what Brower's gear, the Aegis Knight, looks like, but replacing the two shields with one long rifle and small wings on the back.
I know I am a little rusty. There is a limit to what I can learn, seeing as I started so late in life. Even so, I know I executed that perfectly, and he did not go down. They must be using you-know-what. Young one, they are using the battle enhancement drug Drive. They will not be defeated by standard attacks.
Are you serious? So that's how they keep at it, huh? Crap, this will never end.
Faye!
It's okay, we'll get by without him.
We enter a fight, and now it's Sight and Bart against the two gears by the name of Wand Knights. The only attack we witnessed was an attack where they flew into the air and shot us, and one where they were on the ground and they shot us. They mainly attacked Bart, leaving him at 25-15 health at the end of the fight, and attacked Sighton once, bringing him down to 2369. We make short work of the Wand Knights, using Bart's combo and Sighton's heavy attack. They both receive 1500 EXP, no items, and 400 gold. Next scene, we see two children running across a catwalk, assuming that they're heading to the Yggdrasil. As the camera is following them, a gear comes into frame, towering over the catwalk. The kids stop running and look at it in awe. Franz with the punchable face is in the gear.
Where do you think you're going?
Franz raises his gear arm up over the children, and then suddenly Veltal shoulder checks Franz to the ground.
What?
Why are you fighting?
You! What are you doing?
Camera zooms into Veltal in 3 steps along with the sound effects.
What does fighting get you? What if this was your home?
We enter battle. Franz's gear is called Claw Knight. I'm seeing the theme here. With a shield on his right arm and a giant claw for a hand in the other arm. Faye gets a shot in, then Claw Knight does an overhead attack twice to Veltal for 28 damage each. Faye returns a Ripu combo and ends the fight right there. Faye is at 2944 health. We receive an extra AR plus 2 and 300 gold.
Faye!
I knew you'd come around.
We'll talk later. We've got big trouble coming down on us now.
Faye, Bart, and Sighton are in their gears, red lights and sirens blaring in the background. Suddenly, a giant drill-looking gear drops from the ceiling. As the gear is falling, it resembles a spinning top, with its feet making drill bits, and gets wired towards the head. As it lands, its arm folds out to make a sort of pincer claw, and the drill feet split apart and turn to legs with feet. Kind of like a transformer. We enter battle. For the first time, we are fighting with a full team of 3 gears. Sighton starts to fight off with a heavy attack, a spinning leg sweep followed up by an uppercut backhand for 254 damage. So far, his gear fights with his fingers extended in an open palm technique. Faye fumbles through his ether machine, magic menu, and proceeds with a heavy attack with a spinning high kick and uppercut for 251 damage. It is revealed that the spinning gear is called Spiral. He smashes the ground, breaking the ground around him and doing an average of 183 to all teammates. Bart goes next and proceeds to attack Spiral with Wild Smile, which lowers his ACC and EV, which is his accuracy and evade, making him less accurate and less likely to dodge attacks. One of the most powerful abilities in the game, Black Smoke, envelops Spiral. Spiral transforms into a drill and flies into the air, launching towards Sighton, but Sighton evades the attack. Faye follows up with a Ripu combo attack, doing a flying roundhouse uppercut for 506 damage, knocking Spiral to the ground. Sighton's going in for another heavy attack for 241 damage. At the moment, Sighton doesn't have any combos that would work with his gear. Guess we need to do some grinding later. Faye performs a heavy attack for 254 damage. Bart performs a double triangle combo attack on Chain Whip. He does a series of whip attacks, followed up by a fancy spinning whip attack for 402 damage. Spiral tries to do another flying drill attack to Sighton, and again, Sighton sidesteps the attack like it was nothing. Granted, the drill attack isn't going that fast, so evading it makes sense. Sighton attacks Spiral with another heavy attack for 246 damage. Faye does his triangle square Ripu combo attack, dishing out a modest 497 points of damage. Bart hovers over and does a heavy attack for 242 damage. Spirel turns into a drill, flies high into the air and drops down on Citan, but Citan evades, dealing no damage. Citan goes and attacks Spirel with a basic heavy attack for 241 damage. Citan's at 1,998 health and 1,000 out of 1,500 fuel. Faye does a heavy attack for 252 damage. Faye's at 2,578 health and 1,200 out of 1,500 fuel. Spirel is running out of ideas. The boys are barely hurt. He tries again to do a sky-high drill path, and again, Citan sidesteps it like avoiding drunk stumbling guys at the bar. Bart does Heaven Sent. Bart flips a coin high into the air, somehow piercing the ceiling of the underground base, and into a bright blue sky. Then the coin lands, dealing a whopping 0 damage to Spirel. Citan does another heavy attack for 252 damage. Faye dishes out another Riku combo for 486 damage. Spirel does a sort of lightning attack on the entire party. Lightning bolts hitting each gear, not doing any damage, but lowering their defenses. Bart goes to perform a chain whip combo, but after doing the beginning light attack, it was enough to destroy Spirel. Everyone gets 5,963 experience. Faye levels up to 22. HP plus 3 making 170 HP. EP plus 1 making 29. Attack plus 1 making 30. Defense plus 1 making 37. And Ether defense plus 1 making 19. Bart gains 2 levels, making him level 20. HP plus 16 making 182. EP plus 1 making 23. Attack plus 1 making 29. Defense plus 2 making 38. And Ether plus 1 making 17. Citan gains a level, making him 19. HP plus 8 making 285. EP plus 1 making 50. Attack plus 1 making 32. Hit percentage plus 1 making 16. Defense plus 1 making 28. And Ether plus 1 making 18. We get 1,700 gold in a beam coat, which halves beam damage. We are back at the gear hangar, with Citan, Faye, Bart, and Sigurd standing in front of Veltal.
Thanks, Faye.
Bart.
Thank you, Faye. I don't know how we could have done it without you.
I still don't know what I should do.
Faye?
What Bart's doing isn't for his own gain. He walks the path he believes in, one step at a time, wishing only for the happiness of those around him. I, on the other hand, I had been feeling that there was no path laid out. No path that was meant for me. But like he said, that's just running away. I must find my own path. Right, Doc? If Bart wishes, I'll cooperate with you guys. That's all I can do now. But I think I'll find the path I should follow as I help others like you. I can't turn my back and ignore what such a terrible group of people are doing to others.
Thanks, Faye.
Credits. Voice actors: Faye, James Takahashi. Citan, Nathan Woldering. Bart, James Patrick Williams. Mason, Walter Getz. Sigurd, Will Bill. Vance, Remy Chartier. Rank, Nixley. Brewer, Sean Madsen. Helmholz, Jake Allen. Strosky's, Smile Jacket. Lowboy and Lowgirl, Ori. Narration Writers: Chad Moore, with the help of Will Bill. Edited by Chad Moore. If you want to get in contact with any of these talents, please contact Blindaccessiblegaming@gmail.com. This is a passion project made by fans and other amazing people. If you'd like to contribute to this project, please contact us at that email. Xenogears is copyright Squaresoft, 1998. Finally, we'd like to thank everyone who has supported this project. Stay tuned for the next episode.